winning ever since his felony conviction, as some Democrats are now leading the way for his campaign. Now, we've seen the stories of Democrats from New York who feel as if this hush money trial has been a complete sham. Yes, this is what we're hearing from Democrats straight out of New York City. And, they're also saying that this was purely political prosecution and that it wasn't fair to the former president. Now, the same notion is being shared by a lot of Republicans across the nation who feel as if this is an attack. It's an attack on Donald Trump, not just on Donald Trump, though, but it's also an attack on his family. And this is why we've been hearing Melania Trump and Ivanka Trump's name repeatedly in mainstream media. I mean, they even did it for Barron Trump, who just graduated from high school. So the idea was that this trial, it was aimed at embarrassing Donald Trump and his family. But that's not working out too well for the opposition. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is because some supporters who previously retracted their support from Donald Trump are now back. That's right, guys. So the reason being is this sham trial. And so here's something that's really shocking. We know that Donald Trump has been hit multiple times with all these allegations left and right? You guys have seen it. It's a sham. This is corruption at its best. And he's been silenced with a gag order. And the idea is that he's not above the law. So the real question now is, why is Attorney General Merrick Garland denying the American public the right to listen to President Joe Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur? You remember that one, right? The one where Robert Hur said that President Joe Biden is an old man with dementia? Well, Attorney General Merrick Garland, he appeared before the House Judiciary Committee, and he basically said that he's not going to give us these tapes. Now, before I share this clip with you guys, all I ask is that you guys drop a quick hello in the comments, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. And as always, I just want to thank you so much for always subscribing to the channel and sharing these videos with your friends. Take a listen.
Not be intimidated. Are you the arbiter?
Sorry?
Are you the arbiter? The decider of whether or not those tapes will be provided to this Congress at the subpoena of its committee to investigate the president?
Constitution requires me to protect the separation of powers and our ability to do investigations in the future. It requires me, and the court proceedings make that clear, to weigh whatever interests you have against the interests of law enforcement. The president has asserted executive privilege, and I have not heard a legitimate legislative reason why the audio is insufficient for any purpose, the legitimate purpose.
You know what demeanor evidence is, don't you, sir?
I'm sorry.
Demeanor evidence. You know what that is. I sat on the bench for decades. I
know what demeanor evidence
is.
I know what demeanor evidence is, and I've not been shown any reason why audio evidence of demeanor would make a difference in any legislative purpose.
Well, that's exactly what demeanor evidence is, sir. Witnessing and observing a witness as they testify. And what can be done by this committee is to observe the audio recording of the president testifying to see whether it comports with the transcript or whether it reveals things about his capacity or his veracity or anything else that comes from his demeanor as he is interviewed.
Well, none of the things that you just mentioned are a legislative purpose. I've yet to suggest any law that you intend to pass or thinking about in which the audio would make a difference over the transcript.
If a future DOJ concludes, well, let me ask you this question. What happened to Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon when they decided to defy a subpoena of the Congress?
We received 4 referrals, criminal referrals. 2 were prosecuted, 2 were not. The 2 that were prosecuted, as the published court opinions make clear.
What will happen to you if your decision is based on?
May I continue to answer?
No, I know what happened. You know what happened too. Mr. Navarro is in prison. What will happen to you if your sole determination that you're not going to cooperate with this committee subpoena is
with respect to the 2 people you asked, the court made clear they did not comply in any way, did not even appear And second, there was no executive privilege. Neither of those is true in my case.
If a future Department of Justice follows the facts and the law, as you're fond of reciting, even to the point of prosecuting a former president, then if your decision is baseless, you should be prosecuted, right?
If a future, and I hope it will be the case, a future Justice Department follows the law and the decisions of the Office of Legal Counsel since the Reagan administration, when there's an assertion of executive privilege, the contempt statute is inapplicable. That's been the rule through every administration, including the Reagan administration. It even reached back to the Eisenhower administration.
Mr.
I
Attorney
hope
General,
they will follow the law.
Mr. Attorney General, you have
Well, that's a rather long-winded answer. Well, this goes on. Let me just save you guys some time. This goes on for a lot longer, but just know that he didn't answer the last question about himself being prosecuted. He just pretty much deferred away from it. And the idea is very simple. The committee, they want to check the tapes and confirm if the transcript checks out. They also want to hear if President Joe Biden is still mentally sound, because Special Counsel Robert Hur said that he had a tough time recalling some memories from the past, even some just as far back as when he was vice president. That's not that long ago, right? Which honestly, that's just a couple years, just a few years. So, although the president didn't necessarily forget about this interview with Robert Hur, because, just a few weeks ago, he moved to block an attempt to collect the audio from it. That's right, guys. Joe Biden moved to block the audio. What is he trying to hide? Does this seem a little bit suspect to you guys? Because some analysts believe that this is due to Merrick Garland tampering with the transcript, meaning that the tapes and the transcripts, they don't match. So it's highly possible that the audio could be incredibly harmful for President Joe Biden's political ambitions this year. Or at least this is what a lot of experts believe. Now, we all know that Joe Biden doesn't need a whole lot of help to show us that he's not as mentally sharp as he used to be. Real quick shout out to Terry Stratus. Thanks so much for the huge $5 super chat this evening. Terry Stratus says, if Biden cannot be investigated because he has dementia, then he is mentally incapacitated to hold office. And I have to agree with you. You can't have your cake and eat it too, which, I never really understood that phrase, and I still don't. What do you mean I can't have my cake and eat it too? What good is the cake if I can't eat it? But the simple fact of the matter is that Joe Biden can't claim that he's a well-meaning elderly old man with a bad memory so he can get off of some charges and not face potential legal punishment, but at the same time hold the presidency. You can't do both, sir. So there's that. Otherwise, oh yeah, that's right. Quick shout out to Dan Wood. What's good? What's going on, Dan Wood? So Dan Wood drops a huge $20 super chat this evening. Thank you so much for your support. So Dan Wood says, Ron, you are the highlight of my day. Today was a 16-hour day for me, and my crew, we got the job done. Well, big ups to you, man. 16-hour day. I mean, that's literally 2 full-time days all combined in one. So I don't know if you have any Jamaican in you. I have some Jamaican in me, and the stereotype is, what do you have? You only have one job? I have 16 jobs, man. No, anyway, old school in living color reference. But anyway, 16-hour day for you guys. Thank you for all you do. Also, what's up? Are you traveling? It doesn't look like you're in your normal studio. Yeah, you're right. You got me. We are traveling, so we're out and about. We'll be home soon enough. But yeah, we are traveling and enjoying some tropical weather and whatnot with the family. So totally cool. And thanks for noticing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for noticing, Dan. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for the support, all of you guys, as a matter of fact. Thank you all for just rocking with me every day and hitting the like button, subscribing and whatnot. But yeah, so what is President Joe Biden hiding here, right? I think there's something awry with the transcript, and it looks like Merrick Garland may have actually had something to do with it. Man, you guys are showing me so much love in the comments. Traveling, Stay safe. Hello from Concord, California. What's going on, traveling man? We got Keenan Ripon in here. Holy cow. Rad Data 4 just became a member of the channel. Thank you so much, Rad Data 4, for hitting the join button and becoming a member of the channel. I totally appreciate the support. And so many of you guys have been doing that, hitting the join button. Lenny Davis, 1982 Mongo. What's good, my brother? Thank you so much for hitting the $10 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Catalia, oh my goodness. Catalia is like the miracle worker. I totally appreciate you. Always helping us out in the comments. You guys are unbelievable, unbelievable. So President Joe Biden, he is seemingly preparing for his debates with Donald Trump. You guys see that? Love you too, Catalia. So he's so focused on these debates that he's actually rejected an offer from X's Elon Musk to have a town hall meeting over the social media platform. Allison Chen, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. God bless you as well. So President Joe Biden, he's turning down these invitations, which if you're Joe Biden, he doesn't have I don't think he's got he's not in a position, let's just say that. He's not really in a good position to be turning down these opportunities, but he's doing it. He also, Elon Musk, has also invited former President Donald Trump and RFK Jr., who's also running for president. Now get this, guys. Elon Musk, he says that this town hall is for sure to be interesting, and many people predict that it will attract attendees from across the globe. And Donald Trump's getting support from people who don't really like him as much. Let's just look at Doug Leone, for example, right? So Doug Leone, he's a billionaire, venture capitalist, previously lambasted Donald Trump after the entire January 6th situation, right? But he, along with a lot of other Americans, are now tired of what is happening to our country. In fact, he says that he's concerned about the general direction of our country. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, do you agree with him on this one? Are you personally concerned about the direction of our country? Does it really feel like the USA that we used to know? So he's basically worried about the broken immigration system and our ballooning deficit. I mean, dude, we're almost hitting $35 trillion in terms of our national debt. This is crazy. Not to mention the foreign policy missteps by the Biden administration. And Leone, he's not alone with this renewed support for Donald Trump either. Both small and big time donors are rallying behind Donald Trump as he continues to set records for campaign donations. I mean, this is a record election year, guys. Think about all these different records that are being broken. We've never seen a former president charged, certainly not with 34 felonies, right? And so word has come out about one particular billionaire who has now just recently pledged to donate more than $90 million to Donald Trump's campaign. This is wild, right? So this is a staggering number. This is from one person. But it just kind of goes to show that, some people are just hell-bent. They're hell-bent on seeing something different. They're yearning for a change to come to the United States. Period and point blank. I mean, the surprising concept, though, is that even Democrats are changing their minds about Donald Trump. And they're looking at Trump differently. They're not even looking at Donald Trump as if he's not a Democrat. They're just like, hey, we want to get behind Trump regardless of his political affiliation. This is what we're seeing, guys. And, since we're talking about money, you guys probably remember the money that was sent out by the Biden administration during the health crisis, right? Stimulus checks, EIDL, what else did they have? They had like the Paycheck Protection Program. They had all these different packages and loans and free money available to businesses and to people. Well, some of that money definitely helped some of us, right? I'm pretty sure you guys got some checks here and there. Maybe you're a business owner, you got a PPP loan, maybe, actually the PPP loan was the forgivable one. Maybe you got an EIDL loan, maybe you got a stimulus check, I don't know. But a huge portion of this money, unfortunately, was actually stolen or taken by fraudsters. Now, one example was the $250 million that was allegedly stolen by Somali immigrants in Minnesota. So the money was supposed to be used for a government program for hungry children. But instead, it looks as if the money was sent to their home country. And as far as I know, the case is not done, although I can confirm that at least one of the jurors that is on this case was bribed by receiving $120,000 in cash in a bag that was dropped off at her doorstep at her house. And she was bribed with $120,000 to acquit these people. Now, guys, this is crazy, right? I mean, we're not entirely sure where this money came from, but it's an incredibly alarming amount of money. And it's really shocking to know that millions of dollars have literally gone to Americans, or at least could have gone to Americans. It was stolen, and it was stolen that easily, right? So it's like, dude, what is our government doing with our money? Terry Stratus, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Terry Stratus says 3 Democratic senators switched to independent to save their political career. Wow. So Terry Stratus, if you could, drop me in the comments down below if you happen to know those 3 Democratic senators' names. I'd love to know who they are that have abandoned the Democratic Party. That's a big deal, guys. That's a real big deal. So I'm just checking out your comments. What's going on, Jeff Poor? Let's see. Great broadcast. I appreciate you. Tree says 120,000. That's all. Wow. Well, it's a lot of money to some people. Let's see here. Let's see. Jakes says 65,000 NYC migrants became homeless today. Now what? Yeah. Let's see. Toby Reville says, I watch these videos daily. Well, Toby, I appreciate your support, my friend. Thank you very much. What's going on, John Lighton? Have a great night, Ron. Yes, Trump 2024 indeed. Guadalupe Rubino says, good news. Congestive pricing is on hold until further notice. Wow, that is big news. That is big news. Emmanuel N, what's going on? From much love from Ontario, Canada. What's good? What's good? Man, we got Keenan Ripon in the house. Fannie Willis's days are numbered now. Did you guys see my last live where I was talking about Fannie Willis and the latest news from the Georgia court system regarding Donald Trump's case? If you haven't heard that one, not going to spoil it for you. Just check that video out right after this one. Donald Trump has gotten some really good news from the Georgia courts. You guys are definitely going to want to hear about that one. Let's see, who else we got in here? We got Rad Data 4. Let's see, Rad Data 4 says, of course, Katalia and Ron, longtime subscriber. I appreciate your authenticity, Ron. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you do appreciate it. Keenan Ripon says, yes, me too, Ron. Oh man, you guys are awesome. Fed Up Patriot. None of the Democrats can never answer a question with yes or no. I know. It definitely is the Democrats, but the Republicans do it too. I feel like almost every politician does that. Almost every. There's always an exception, right? But I feel like all these politicians, they went through like political school or something like that. And it's like, hey, never, ever answer the question. Answer the question with another question, or answer the question with some roundabout story and try to razzle dazzle the questioner or the constituent to a point where they forgot what their question was. And then they leave like dazed, like, wait, did I ever get an answer to my question? They pull this mess all the time. Oh man, Guadalupe Rubino is not a fan of Elon Musk. Okay. Patty Williams, Garland never answers the question. I do believe he needs a new hearing aid. Yep, he probably does need a new hearing aid, or at least swap the battery out or something. So silly. Let's see. So we got Freedom. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Freedom says, I'm on Social Security, Ron, like millions like me. If it runs dry in the next 10 years, I'm screwed, and I'm retired 40 years in the oil industry. Holy cow. That's wild. Now, are you 40 years in the oil industry from one employer, or is that 40 years, across multiple companies? I'm just wondering because, man, 40 years, there was a time where Americans could work one job for like 20, 30, 40 years. But that's really, really uncommon nowadays. But appreciate the information. Emmanuel N. Thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Emmanuel, what's good, man? And thank you so much for the support. All of you guys. I just want to thank y'all so much. Let's see. Tree says, judgment, don't like corruption, period. I feel you. Who wants corruption, And this is, again, guys, this is a wild, unprecedented level of election interference that we've just never seen before. If Donald Trump were to ever go to jail, can you imagine what would happen? How people would react to that? Heck, Donald Trump even talked about that after he was convicted from the Trump Towers in New York City. So really, we're in some really concerning times, guys. Some really, really, really concerning times. What's good, Jeff Lawson? Doing my best, brother. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't already, please take a second. It's totally free. Hit the like button and subscribe. I want to thank y'all as always for sharing this video, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a great night.